and a very warm welcome to Bharata First. I'm Rausan Pereira. This is FRP Explains. The Central Vista Project is in the news, and it has been a heated debate between the government and the opposition as to whether or not we should go ahead with a project, with an ambitious project like the Central Vista Project, especially at a time when the country is going through the second wave of pandemic. Well, I have a few thoughts about it, and I'm here to speak about them. First, what is the Central Vista Project? The Central Vista Project is a redevelopment project that is being undertaken in the Raisina Hill area, which will house the Indian administrative complexes or buildings. What is going to happen there? There's going to be a parliament building, there are going to be offices for various ministries, and all the administrative work is going to be taking place in that project itself or in the complex. What is going to happen to the old parliament building, you may ask that. The old parliament building is going to be retained. It's not going to be destroyed. It is going to be converted into a museum of sorts. Right now, to go into the present parliament building is a cumbersome task. You have to get a special pass, and then finally you have to go there. You're then escorted, you're taken to a particular place, you're then taken to the visitors gallery. You sit there, see the proceedings, and come back. There are, of course, special passes given for non-session times where people are given a special tour of the parliament, and that's an excellent tour to take. I would urge and request everyone to go on that tour at some point in time once this pandemic, of course, is over. Now imagine if the parliament is left open for everyone as a museum, and you don't need special entry. You can just go and see the place as and when you want it, because there's so much of history attached to it, and each and every one of us can relate to it. That is point number one. Second, a lot is being made about how much is being spent on this project at a time when we are going through such a rough phase. Let's not forget that we have allocated 5.5 lakh crore rupees just for infrastructure projects in the budget for this year. There is also a 3 lakh budget that has been allocated for the healthcare sector. So it's not like we are ignoring these sectors. We are looking at these sectors closely as well. The Central Vista project over a period of a few years will cost 20,000 crore rupees. That's an estimate, of course. It can go up as well. And going by what we've seen, in the past, projects usually overshoot their budget. But, one good thing is those who have been awarded the contract and taking care of this are the Tatas. And the Tatas, have a very good reputation. They are India's pride. And finally, we can probably call it Tata's Delhi and not Lutyens Delhi. So that will be a pleasant change as well. The current building itself is, close to about 100 years old. I have had the privilege of working within the building itself, going there almost on a daily basis and seeing how things work, how things function. And let me tell you that the building is not in great condition. Renovation work has to keep taking place every now and again. We have turned into a technologically savvy country. People using their tabs and so many other devices, right, to understand all these things that are happening there. So the infrastructure has to be continuously renovated and improved. So there's a lot of cost attached to that as well. The government has categorically come on record and stated that we spend 1,000 crore rupees just as rent for these administrative buildings that we have in the Central Secretariat area. Also, the current building has a colonial past attached to it for an aspirational India, for an India that wants to be known on the global stage, wants to be some kind of a power on the global stage. Why do we need to be attached to our colonial past? Why can't we have something that is ours? Something that will give us a sense of pride. When we walk into the present parliament building, there is a sense of pride, there is a sense of, feeling good. Imagine if we go into one of our own buildings which looks better than the present parliament complex, how much more better we will feel and how much more filled we will be with pride. Yes, the country is going through a difficult phase, and we have to consider and look into that as well. Let me also categorically state that the healthcare system and the health infrastructure has collapsed. We have done miserably as far as health infrastructure and healthcare is concerned. Now that is a separate issue that I'm going to take up in another video tomorrow, and I'm going to talk about that at length. For now, I'm talking about the Central Vista project. Some politicians have come out and made statements like, हमें सांस चाहिए आवास नहीं. सांस भी ले लेते हैं, आवास भी मिल सकता है along with it. Why not? Why can't we be aspirational? Why can't we have both things? Why can't we move with our best foot forward? Why can't we show the world that this is what we can do and this is what we are capable of? If we are taking the lead in so many other aspects, this can be an aspect that we will take the lead in as well. And if you look at some of the illustrations that have been made of the Central Vista project, you can very clearly see that it looks great. It looks fantastic. It looks like a scene out of the Bahubali movie. And if there is so much that is being done, and if the Tatas are going to be taking care of it, I'm sure and I'm confident and I'm optimistic that the project will be a grand success and it will come out very well. Of course, there are some challenges, there are some issues, there are some hiccups that are outside the purview of the Tatas also that they may have to face at some point in time, like the court cases, like environmentalists and other activists protesting and saying that we should not go through with this project. Like so many other projects in our country, we've seen time and again that they have been delayed because of some issue or the other on these lines. And this may happen with the Central Vista project as well. So far, of course, the Supreme Court has decided not to poke its nose or not to intervene in this particular matter and let it be as it is. So hopefully the project will be finished on time and it can be completed on time as well, which is 2024. Let's look at it from this perspective as well. The parliament complex that we have right now finds it very, very difficult to accommodate even all of the ministers and their staffs and their offices in its present form. So many of them are working out of small spaces. The MPs do not have enough room. So these are some issues that that they are facing. So the new project will ensure that there is ample space, there is ample room, and everyone can work easily and don't have to worry about space. This is another aspect that will be addressed by the new Central Vista project. So these are some things to keep in mind, and these are some things to think about and ponder about before we decide whether we should go ahead with it or not go ahead with it. But I would say that it's a good move, and if done well, it will do us a world of good. That's it on this edition of FRP Explains. If you like the content, please like the video, subscribe and hit the bell icon. You may also come forward and contribute to keep this content alive. These are our UPI IDs. A small contribution that you make will go a long way in us bringing you this content. That's it from me. See you again next time.